cannot simply stop this internal chatter because talking to oneself is a deeply ingrained habit that most people find challenging to break. We have some control over the content and course of these internal conversations, though. Surprisingly, a lot of us are still unaware of the significant effect. These internal debates influence how our lives are shaped. In essence, just as the proverb says, "As a man thinketh in his heart," our inner dialogues act as the seeds from which the circumstances of our existence sprout. So is he, but we frequently overlook the fact that our thoughts are directed by the established, well-traveled paths within our minds. Through these ongoing discussions, we hope to change the direction of our lives and head in the desired direction. We must let go of the burden of our previous Bible conversations. This process is known as letting go of the old man and reinventing oneself. Our speech reflects our thoughts in the spirit of the mind. We must first change our speech before we can change our thoughts. That describes the internal dialogue we have with the world. The world we live in offers countless opportunities for mental transformation. Everything we experience in our lives and everything we manifest are intricately connected. But in order to act with purpose and be civilized, we must be aware of those conversations. Our internal dialogue influences how our lives develop. As long as we continue the same internal dialogue, the conversations we have with ourselves do, in fact, shape our experiences. Despite our best efforts, our personal history has remained unchanged. Prior to doing so, it would be like fighting against how things naturally happen. Without realizing that our own negative internal conversations are the root of our disappointments and misfortunes, we frequently give in to the negative internal dialogue while still aspiring to have control over our lives. We might keep going in circles, blaming outside forces for our problems, rather than realizing the true source is within us. Our internal dialogues and mental conversations are reflected in our experiences on the outside. What we internalize becomes manifest, echoing the thoughts and beliefs in our reality. We continue our current mental discussions. What really matters are our actions in the present, even if their effects might not be immediately apparent. If filled with negativity, move towards the future to confront us as wasted or inverted words. We call for change by paying close attention internally rather than with loud voices. By listening carefully while creating. Life's experiences and connections are a reflection of our inner selves. The secret to conscious creation is speaking internally from a place of satisfied desires, as our internal conversations constantly manifest outside of us in the things we experience. We must first imagine and hear the reality we want to experience internally before we can see and hear it externally. If we learn the skill of controlled internal speech, we experience the thrill of being confident. What we want to manifest before to speak. It occurs consciously, strengthening our faith in its realization. We can transform and direct the enormous creative energies of our internal dialogue from the mental and emotional realms to the physical by using imagination. What? Is it your aim? Does it match the talk you're having inside? To achieve your goal, there must be harmony between your inner dialogue and the desired state. Justice cannot walk side by side. without consensus. Your internal dialogue must support the reality you want to create. Internal speech, docile speech of a realized ideal, is the proper speech. The two human abilities of speech and the mind are said to be equivalent to a form of immortality when used properly, according to ancient wisdom. Even beyond the limitations of the physical body, these gifts direct us towards the divine realms. The Word was present in the beginning, coexisting with God and becoming God. The phrase, the offspring of the mind, captures the essence of how vibrations resonate with others and draw them into our lives. The life we create, both inside of ourselves and in the world around us, is shaped by what resonates with our inner frequencies and internal dialogue that is similar to the Word of God. According to ancient teachings, the joining of the Word and the mind creates life. You and your internal dialogue are one and transform your mind. As the Bible emphasizes, changing your internal dialogue is necessary if you are to realize your goals. Make sure your inner conversations reflect the reality you envision for yourself. We all carry the Word in our mouths and hearts, giving us the ability to choose life over death, choosing blessing over curse and good over evil. Because the divine Word, which is our inner speech, shapes our future. Our thoughts must be directed toward what is right and pure. Do you see fields? It is said, is the light of Asia. Sesame is present with sesame. Corn was corn, the darkness was new. The profound truth that a person's destiny is shaped by the fidelity of their origins is revealed by these words. Sesame and corn both produce yields in the same manner. Corn. To experience a bountiful harvest of achievement, the seeds of success must be sown. We must sow the seeds of success in our minds if we want to succeed. We must act and think as though we already have it. The crucial factor is not necessarily external facts, but rather the beliefs we hold to be true within ourselves. External facts might initially conflict with our hypotheses, but if we hold to them despite the evidence, it will eventually become clear that we are right. Instead of contradicting our assumptions, results confirm them. Our transformation. Inner speech is like putting on a new person's clothes. Though unseen by others, our internal dialogue has a significant influence on our circumstances going forward. We must accurately define who we want to become if we are to become our ideal selves. Through this faith-filled supposition, imagine the joy of our wish being fulfilled. Our ideal selves will manifest. Imagine yourself as the person you want to be in the real world while remaining true to that idea. Test this power and watch as life conforms to the model of your imagination. Life is a training ground for forming images through imagination. Negative internal dialogues are a powerful tool that you can use or abuse depending on your inner dialogues. Particularly those who sow the seeds of future wars and prisons are those who harbor envy and malice. People have grown accustomed to engaging in such harmful conversations, using them to excuse mistakes, criticize others, and take pleasure in their suffering. Maintaining the status quo of violence in order to succeed. Embrace the new conversation of your fulfilled and put an end to the old conversation of the unsuccessful man, self. The cost of becoming great is this internal transformation. We must assume conscious responsibility and work together to bring about heaven on earth. We must use our imagination thoughtfully and compassionately, using language that is consistent with our values. The ability to imagine is more than just a toy or daydream. The doorway to reality is there. It becomes the route to the desired state, embodying its reality and giving it life. Our imagination constantly calls to us, enticing us to live out our dreams in the here and now. As our hypothetical future scenarios play out right now, we might now encounter opposition. This resistance acts as a vital signal, bringing to our attention any potential roadblocks in the way of our desired future. Self, our awareness, and undivided focus are necessary. Our internal conversations and the states of mind they produce have unacknowledged effects on our current experiences, which we may not fully understand. Unfavorable situations are a sign that we need to make changes to our mental diet. Man cannot survive on bread alone either. However, on the thought that originates in our mind and comes from the mouth of God, we must feed our minds with noble and loving thoughts and engage in imaginative activities rather than just watching them. Transform its mental and emotional energy into physical energy. Using more senses, imagine what you want and imagine seeing. Intensely infusing the sounds and sensations of reality into your imagined state. The spirit of accomplishment and relief is reawakened by this active use of imagination, moving us away from the passive acceptance of appearances. By imagining a different location as if it were here, you can close the gap between then and now. Pay closer attention to your inner dialogue as you imagine yourself in the desired location, embodying the version of yourself you wish to become. If your internal dialogue matches what you would actually say and do in that imagined reality, you have succeeded in bridging the present with the future. However, if you run into resistance in your inner dialogue, take it as a sign that you need to explore your feelings and thoughts more deeply. These resistances may be an indicator of constricting beliefs, unaddressed fears, or secret doubts that demand recognition and resolving. You should try it out to see how transformative it is.